Okay, so the Antisemitism Awareness Act just passed the House, and we're talking by a wide margin. So, somebody here on Reddit claims that people are lying about what it means. The House voted 320 to 91 to urge the Department of Education to codify criticism of Israel as unlawful anti Semitism. If you don't understand the insane danger of this right here, you're truly a fool. This is unconscionable, and it's happening now. Not under Trump, right now. Okay, criticism of Israel similar to that leveled against any other country cannot be regarded as anti Semitic. So, surprise, it's still legal to call Israel out about Gaza. And to be clear, this misinformation spread falls equally on Lib Crusher and Jason Overstreet, who made this original post on Twitter. Department of Education shall take into consideration the definition of anti-Semitism as part of the department's assessment of whether the practice was motivated by anti-Semitic attack. The IHRA, or the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, working definition of anti-Semitism is a vital tool which helps individuals understand and identify the various manifestations of anti-Semitism. Manifestations might include the targeting of the state of Israel, conceived as a Jewish collectivity. However, criticism of Israel similar to that leveled against any other country cannot be regarded as anti-Semitic. Hey, so what this guy is trying to say is that the Antisemitism Awareness Act has nothing to do with student protesters or trying to make it illegal for people to protest against Israel. But I don't know. Yeah, it says that. So you would think that it means, there's nothing wrong with the protesters. Um, First of all, everybody knows who holds the purse strings of these politicians. They're all getting paid off by Israel. And, I don't know if anybody remembers or not, but this was the party whose supporters were saying Jews will not replace us in their little tiki torch marches just a few years ago. These are people who vote conservative Republican. Let's just be honest here. That's their people. Ultimately, I don't think our politicians or this government gives a shit. I don't give they give a shit about anti-Semitism or Jews or anything like that. Um, I mean, it's really all about money. And I don't think this is just a coincidence at all. I think they're trying to cover their asses, but it's not a coincidence. Yeah, I'm sure the little detail will surely not be forgotten. The entire bill is clearly an attempt to censor the college students' overwhelming support of the Palestinian people. Since 2018, the Department of Education has used IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism. This is not a new thing, people. Then what's the point of it? You just hit the nail on the head. This does nothing except for give the politicians a chance to say that they're on the record as condemning anti-Semitism. The way social media tells it, they just took away people's freedom of speech. And that was necessary at just this moment in history for what reason? If not to conflate ongoing criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism. And that's what I keep saying. They don't seem to want to realize this, or they do realize it. Again, they just don't care. You know, money and all that shit, but anyone with more than a cornflake for a brain knows that these protests and even people who aren't protesting, just an overwhelming shit ton of people in this country. It's not even a minority, it's a majority, okay? They are not out there protesting because they hate Jews. They are not out there protesting because they just hate Israel and they just feel like protesting about it. Again, tiki torch marches. Jews will not replace us. That's their party. That's right wing, ultra right wing people. You know, that's their thing. And these people, they're not protesting because they don't like Jewish students. They're not protesting because they don't have anything else to do. They're protesting because there is a fucking genocide going on. It it isn't about what religion you are. It isn't about what religion you are. It isn't about like who's God. It doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. It's more children are killed over there. More Palestinian children have been killed so far than in World War II. More children killed every day than they killed during World War II. That's a genocide. We've seen the videos. The whole world has seen this stuff unfold. It is not anti-Semitic to say they're doing exactly what they're doing. I love what Bernie Sanders said, but no, you chode. Not more than World War II every day. More children are killed every day than children that were killed every day during World War II. Jesus Christ. Anyway, these people, they don't like it and they want what's what's the word they're using now? Disinvestment. Uninvest in Israel, which and people are saying, you know, what are these student protesters doing? Why are these student protesters doing it? What do they think they're going to do? don't want their rich universities that they pay for to give money to these people, to give support to these people. Nobody wants these major entities showing their support or giving their money. Gives politicians a ripe old chance to say they're on the record condemning anti-Semitism. Okay, great. With all due respect, the IHRA is absolute nonsense. It completely conflates criticism with Israeli policy with anti-Semitism. Technically, you may be able to carefully thread the needle, but its intent and practice seems obvious. Diluting the definition of anti-Semitism is not going to be helpful in the long run. Like the boy who cried wolf. The wolves are already there. Yes, exactly. That's kind of what I was saying. The numbers of civilians killed, mainly women and children, are off the charts over there. This is what the IHRA says. Accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. Okay, I agree. Denying the Jewish people their right to a self-determination by claiming that the existence of a state of Israel is a racist endeavor. Okay, I agree. Drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of the Nazis. Now we've got a problem. Holding Jews collectively responsible for the actions of the state of Israel. No, I know we can't do that. There are plenty of Israelis that also can't stand Netanyahu or what they're doing. But it is their country, and as if we can't tell from all that cop bullshit going on at all the university protests across the country, this is what happens in our country as official supporters of Israel when we say something different. So is saying Israel's committing of a genocide anti-Semitic because it compares to the Nazis' policy of genocide? Otherwise, I haven't seen any of those things happening on campus protests. This is about shutting up criticism of Israel. Furthermore, why is Israel in the definition of anti-Semitism at all? It's just meant to paint the protesters as anti-Semitic, and they don't care. Until they decide that rightful criticism of them is more than what the other guys get. Exactly. We don't see you criticize other countries like you do us. It's not fair. Therefore, you're committing anti-Semitism, and now you're not allowed to protest when we turn little babies into dust on the Gaza Strip. Continue to buy our corrupt politicians and continue playing victim. Slappy happy do. Hit the nail on the head right there. Criticism leveled like with any other country. So in other words, they are trying to make it illegal to protest and condemn Israel's actions. Because they'll say nobody else is criticizing other countries for their policies right now. But all these people are out there criticizing Israel. Israel is being singled out for protest. No, everyone knows politicians are on board with them. This is a sneaky bastard way of doing exactly what everyone is thinking. Trying to snuff out all protests against a country which is paying off our representatives. The whole, yeah, you could still criticize is there just to make it look otherwise. Fucking sad. Yeah, you don't say. Yes, we're aware of the fact that Nazis said a lot of horrible things about Jews back in the day to justify doing horrible things to them. You know, kind of like what Israel is doing right now to justify wiping out hundreds of children a day. But if you find it really, really fucking ironic, if you find it really, really fucking weird, like maybe they should really think about something that happened in their past. No. The anti-Semitism, the crying and whining, playing victim, we went through what we went through. I never thought we would ever see a time where they would just use it to play the victim and not understand they are doing the exact same fucking thing. Here we go. Oh no, protesters have left the UCLA buildings vandalized and covered with trash. The 50 million cops dressed up like RoboCop hanging out there wouldn't have had anything to do with people up and leaving. And guess what? All their shit's left behind. Oh, here's Bobo trying to remove the Palestinian flag. I heard about this.
What else is blocking it, sir?
Excuse me, that's excuse me. This kind of property. This is America, and that shit is shut down.
This is America. She's just some fucking dumbass Karen. You don't accidentally graffiti a building, but there's trash and tents, and essentially all their belongings are left behind. You think 50,000 cops coming in to beat these people and throw them down staircases and arrest them and drag them away might have a little something to do with some items being left behind. As for the graffiti, who gives a shit? Are you a student here? Who cares if he's a student? Oh, God, that Beetlejuice bitch. I can't wait till she's out of there, walking around like a goddamn Karen. Well, she is a Karen. Like she's some kind of a dictator. She's just gonna grab people's shit away from them. You know, she was wide open there. Any of them could have taken that opportunity. Oh my God. I don't care about Ford freak out. Man versus bear debate. Mike Lindell looking like the guy who's been hiding a zombie bite from the group. He looks like a zombie. I thought that was makeup under his eyes. Ugh. Can you guess which one is the reconstructed Neanderthal? What about tax-funded university on which they pay to be there on top of the taxes going into that building and that quad and all of that land? Don't you people understand? I hate to say it, Neanderthal woman is more attractive than Marjorie Taylor Greene. Maybe I would rather bang the Neanderthal than her. Ew. Endless smoking and coffee is very important because it makes you anxious and super annoyed. This is the ideal state of mind for man to get things done and conquer the earth. Well, since all of you assholes love Andrew Tate out there, I guess you can call me your unmitigated queen. Some states are going to become unlivable for women. Louisiana Republicans are moving to pass a law that charge women with felonies and throw them in prison if they are caught in possession of abortion pills. Doesn't felony kind of mean federal law? Didn't I tell all you people to get your wives and daughters the fuck out of these red states? It's been unlivable for women. You know, then all of these self-professed alpha males can have a perfect place to go and live. They can, you know, all of their closeted homosexual asses can go down to states like Louisiana. And there will be no women there, and it'll be perfect for them. They can all live there and pump iron and take steamy showers together and talk about how everything you do with a woman makes you gay somehow. Yeah, you ain't getting it, are you? Yes, I've seen this. Okay. Where are the good ones? I just saw good ones. She had to kill the puppy to save her children. Christ. Christy Nome keeps trying to get out of it. Oh, yeah. I saw this shit. Sickening moment. Father made his 6-year-old son run on treadmill because he was too fat for 12 days before the boy's death from chronic abuse. Christopher Greger appeared in court on Tuesday to face murder charges. His 6-year-old son, Corey Micciolo, died in 2021 due to chronic abuse. CCTV footage shows Greger forcing his son to run on a treadmill was revealed. He probably, look at the smirk on that asshole's face. He's like a J6er. He thinks his hero, Andrew Tate, is gonna like bail him out and save him for being like the most awesome alpha male or some shit. Meanwhile, he looks like a little bitch. He won't last 3 days in prison. He bit him on the head. He literally bit him. Throw him in the deepest, dirtiest hole and walk away. What? This dude beat his kid so severely his organs were damaged. Pedos and child abusers are the lowest rungs in prison. They're pretty reviled by everyone and constantly a target, which is why they're usually kept separate. Ugh. Okay, let's stop with the jokes about the kid getting bit. How do they know this? Yeah, I don't care who works in a prison. Or who knows this person or that or whatever. If what's his name was shanked in prison and he killed George Floyd, not a kid, this guy is definitely done. But I don't care who works in prisons. I'm sick of this shit. I literally had a guy do this in our gym on Tuesday and I had to speak up. So did the owner. Kid was crying and coughing and he would not let him off the treadmill. Who knows what happens at home if he's comfortable treating the kid that way in public? Yeah, seriously, next time you see anything like that, call the cops. If you have an incident report, the name of the guy in the video footage, you might be able to call and file a report and then ask for a wellness check on the child. You can still call and report this. The gym will have records of the guy's name. You can save that kid's life. Look up Larry Lawton on YouTube. Guy is an ex-jewel thief who talks about life in different prisons. Okay, but we're not there, and oh, there he is, David Bowie. And oubliette is the word you're looking for. Do you want pedophile Bane? Because that's how you get pedophile Bane. Who cares? The way the dad bit and clamped onto the 6-year-old's head was absolutely shocking. He then proceeded to amp up the speed and incline until his son rolled off the treadmill. The treadmill kept going and the kid wasn't wearing a safety switch. So the dad essentially threw him back on the moving treadmill about a dozen times. This man is pure evil. He'd been in that little boy's life for only a year and completely tortured him. The child eventually went into sepsis. The day the trial started would have been his 10th birthday. I watched the pediatrician's testimony yesterday. She had an emergency appointment with the kid the day before he died, scheduled by the mother, where the child already had various bruises from his dad teaching him to play football that mom was concerned about. 14 recorded injuries and various stages of healing. The pediatrician didn't note any other medical issues, and the next day the kid is dead. The child was okay with the exception of bruising the day before he died, as reported by the child's doctor. There's a video of the abuse, and the guy didn't take his plea deal. Dude deserves everything that is coming to him. He didn't take a plea deal. He didn't take a plea deal, so he's completely fucked. I actually left Twitter today for good because people kept posting it without any sort of warning. I've seen horrible shit on Twitter, but something about that video was enough for me. Absolute cesspool. And I say that someone who uses Reddit and occasionally even pokes my head into 4chan. Yeah. I won't leave Twitter. It's swarming with just right-wing garbage, but there are some really awesome people there that I just love. I just love to chat with and bounce ideas off of, so I just can't do it At least not right now. Don't believe the fake news' media twisted spin. I had a choice between the safety of my children and an animal who had a history of attacking people and killing livestock. I chose my kids. So she killed a puppy to save her children. Did she remember to yell, "It's coming right for us," before she shot it in the face? They took her derves. Oh no. Actually, now you have to yell, "Thin out their numbers." You have to kill these animals or else they'll die. So it was a 14-month-old puppy that was being trained as a hunting dog, which she admitted to hating. She can't pull the "won't someone think of the children" card as a way out of this. Was the goat dangerous too? Or did she just have a fetish for gunfire and gravel pits? She had a fetish for gunfire and gravel pits. I'll put money on it right now. She's got a fetish. The goat committed the crime of being nasty and rancid. You know, because goats naturally smell of lavender and roses, and she, the owner, should never be expected to give the animal any care at all. If we shot every old, nasty, rancid beast that smelled like piss and made a beeline for children, there'd be a free courtroom in New York currently. How does this guy not have like a million karma for that? This was fucking cold. Yeah, it was. I need to start a subreddit for just the most epic comments. I wonder if they have one. I should make one anyway. That's the only move conservatives have. Gay and trans people exist? Think of the children. People aren't Christian? Think of the children. I killed a puppy? Think of the children. Par for the course. Children can't afford school lunches? They can go to hell. Considering how many of them turn out to be sex offenders, their thinking of the children may be a bit much. It's like a reflex for them to use that phrase as a defense. Gross. Yes, it is. She is fucking fuming over this. Fuming. Ever since that shit got out, she's all over Twitter trying to make it look like she's moved on and nobody's supposed to pay any further attention to it. Nothing to see here, folks. It's all done and over with. And then everybody is just flooding her Twitter with "you fucking this" and "you stupid that." And I even worked really, really hard on my Raising Arizona, my little Raising Arizona puppy killer biker gif. She is never going to live it down. She's going to have to delete her Twitter account. which she won't do because it's a cesspool of just right-wing trash. But there's enough good people out there. I mean, that's another reason why I haven't left Twitter. There's definitely enough good people on there that she's being attacked nonstop. And that's good to me. So it's not all trash. But I'm going to show my little puppy gif. Oh, and there's my little post. Will somebody please think of the goat? Because I know everyone's talking about the puppy, but nobody's talking about the little goat. There it is. If you are old and horrible like me, you'll remember the biker from the movie Raising Arizona and how he threw a grenade to a little bunny. So there's the poor little pups coming up to snip the little grenade, and she killed the puppies. Once you're born, you're on your own. I love George Carlin. This is the dog whistle part. She has said that these incidents show she's willing to make tough choices and do anything difficult, messy, and ugly if it needs to get done. Both the goat and the dog were dangerous to children, so she did the difficult, messy, and ugly thing and just killed them. She's using think of the children to justify violence against the perceived threat. A 14-month-old puppy that is not a Rottweiler or an Akita or anything, and a fucking goat. When else have we heard conservatives talk about perceived threats to children? Something about story times and library books. She's literally saying she's willing to cross the line and do what might be considered ugly to protect the children from what she perceives as a threat. So ugly obviously includes violating rights, encouraging violence against targeted groups, enacting unconstitutional laws, using police power to harass groups marked as a threat, etc. Oh, I could go on for you, dude. But she's signaling that she's the one who's going to do whatever it takes to eliminate a perceived threat. Perceived should be in quotation marks too. I mean, perceived means it's just her warped, fucked up way of thinking of things. But even the term perceived should be in quotes, because there's something wrong with these people's perception. There's something very wrong with these people's perception. There's something wrong with all these fucking trashy people. They've got to go. They've just got to go. That's the moral of the story she wanted to get across, but she miscalculated on how much people would focus on the dog part. Yeah, because a 14-month-old scraggly puppy was not a threat. And we all know it wasn't a threat. The goat was not a threat. We all know it wasn't a threat. And I don't know. We know she would not be willing to do the difficult, messy, and ugly thing when it comes down to it, because difficult, messy, and ugly, when you're a politician, would involve fucking with real people, not a 14-month-old puppy and a goat. She wouldn't be willing or able to do anything to people when they're part of an angry mob outside her front door. What she's saying is she's on the side that wants to eliminate like 80% of her fucking country because they're not conservative white Christians or some bullshit. I don't know. The typical right-wing trash. But her admitting to hating the dog and calling it worthless trumps every excuse she makes about whatever danger it was to her family. It was not a tragedy for her. It was an inconvenience. Of course it was. There is no excuse this bitch can use that's going to change the fact the story is out, honey. You already admitted you just hated the dog. You just didn't care about these animals. But it made you feel really big to snuff out their lives. But then she goes after my reproductive rights. She goes after abortion. She goes after women's rights. What a fucking bitch. Sick conservative shit. My neighbor has two little dogs that constantly bark. How do I frame them for 9/11? Is there a tip line I can call? Just call Christy. Yeah, trying to enshrine the most fascistic. Isn't it fascistic? I don't know. Traitorous bullshit I've ever witnessed in my life into law. Ooh, this is the big post. I went to the small repost. Because, you know, every Reddit thread has to have at least 2 or 3 reposts in a day. Fascist, plain and simple. Any criticism of the Israeli army and government is not anti-Semitism. In fact, it's the morally correct thing to do. Maybe the extermination of the human race would be the best thing for life on this planet. Look, I have to thank America. I'm from Australia, and I know for sure our society and policies are just mirror image of America from like 20 years ago. Time to fight for my children's future is now, as I guess I've seen what's going to happen. But America has your country to thank for Rupert Murdoch, because his propaganda is what's causing America to sink into this position. I think it's already sunk. Yeah, we get it. Crazy how fast the government acts for Israel. Israel owns our politicians. Yeah, we know this. This isn't so much about, I don't know, unless they're all special. Let's put it that way. They really don't care. I don't think they even care that everyone in this country knows what they're doing. Israel definitely holds the purse strings when it comes to this shit. Plain and simple. Can't think of a better way to fuel anti-Semitic conspiracy theories of Jewish people owning the government than for the pro-Israel lobby to get the government to define criticism of their country as anti-Semitic. It's like they've been infected with whatever mind virus is making Christians want to start World War III because they think it's going to cause the rapture. It does seem as though multiple groups are just jizzing their pants over the idea of ushering on their end times. And I think I want to relocate to like Finland before everyone completely loses it. Christian Dominionists, Israeli Zionists, Putin's gang, who am I missing? Evangelicals, Baptists, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. This asshole right here. They're all fucking psychotic. That's what half of our legislature is shooting for. The Jews must return to the Holy Land because that's when their buddy Jesus touches down. The other half are just bought and paid for by AIPAC and similar. Yeah, we know. And like I said, unless these people are special, they know that we know. And they just don't care. They're getting their fucking money. That's all they care about. MAGA has started wearing diapers in support of Trump. If they really wanted to go all out, they'd wear the diaper without the pants. Okay, now they're just taking Idiocracy too far. The sequel sucks. Dumb fuck isn't a personal challenge, people. Donald Trump 2, Electric Poopaloo. I really hate the fact that almost half of my country is so fucking stupid. I can't tell if this is brilliant satire or a brain-dead, sincerely held belief. No, it's a brain-dead, sincerely held belief. They don't get satire. Back during the Colbert Report days, I believe there was an Ohio State study in which self-identifying conservatives viewed the rapport and they thought it was real. They did not understand that it was satire and was in fact intended to fuck their place in the political landscape. There have been other studies with similar results. Conservative voters just aren't smart. To understand satire would require intelligence. More than that, it requires a kind of self-awareness and a social common sense of the general absurdities in life and our own behavior. Like Seinfeld is like that. If you have a very fragile ego or you're always on guard against threats, you're not going to see the satire. You're only going to understand cartoonish, lame, slapstick comedy and insult comedy or personal attacks against yourself. Satire exists in a place of self-understanding and acceptance of life's ridiculousness. Many conservatives hate nuance and understanding that even their own view of the world is severely flawed because their values are not solid and the world is not black and white dichotomy. It makes them insecure and angry that they are forced to humble themselves and admit how much they don't actually know about the world. Conservatism and narcissistic personality disorder have so much overlap. They should just change GOP to NPD. The same half conveniently forgets the vehement accusations that Biden wears a diaper and shits himself. But now real men wear diapers, so would that make Biden a real man? Except they never said that, so my logic is faulty. Arguing with idiots is like playing chess with a pigeon. They shit all over the board, strut around like they won. Well, there is no bottom, except the one in that diaper. She looks so proud of herself. Good night, Irene. Fuck. Cultist gonna cult. Wait until we get the first report of him very clearly shitting his diaper in court, and the cultists begin doing the same to own the libs. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. We need to make it so that we design an image of a far-right conservative maggot Trump moron. Essentially, oh, and this will be so ironic because, you know, they're all like hyper religious and shit. Create them in our desired image of the typical right-wing conservative maggot fuckwit. Make it so that by the election season, they're all wearing diapers, they're all shitting their diapers, they've got pacifiers, they're setting themselves on fire, They're shaving their heads. They're walking around barefoot. They stop showering, stop wiping their asses. And, you know, we could not even very carefully, we can just plan it so that these people, we tell them that unless they do this certain thing, then they're woke. Or like we accuse like Trump of doing certain things so that they adopt it automatically, you know, like the mindless cultists they are. And by election season, this woman right here, this will just be the first step. This woman right here will be walking around in an adult diaper without the pants, shitting that diaper. She'll be wearing coconut shells for a bra. She will be full of bruises and all kinds of damage. We could tell her that Trump's teeth are not his own because he wouldn't brush his teeth. Obviously, they're fake. They've been worked on anyway. So we could tell them that he wears dentures. And then she won't have any teeth anymore come election time. And we can turn these people into fucking monstrosities. All you have to do is convince them that if they don't do these things, they're not owning the libs. We can have them crawling around these areas with diapers on, shitting themselves like they're a bunch of fucking monkeys if we wanted to. I think we should absolutely do it. So, anyway, I'm ordering my Starbones. Mwah.